János Pilinszky, Apocryph. Because all shall be abandoned them. The silence of heavens parted forever from those of the fallen fields at the world's end. Again the dark canal's silence. Fugitive bird regiment in air, and we will see the rising sun, mute as a demented pupil of an eye, and calm as a watchful beast. But keeping vigil in banishment, because sleep is absent on that night, I am adrift as its thousand leaves, and I speak like a tree at night. Do you know the wandering of years, their years on the crumpled fields, and understand the wrinkles of transience? Recognize it on married hands. And do you know the name of orphancy? And do you know what kind of pain treads here the internal darkness of split hooves and webbed toes? The night, the cold, the pit, the captive's twisted head. And do you know the congealed throes, the deep bird agony? Do you know that? The sun has risen. Slender trees stand dark in the wrathful infrared sky. Thus I leave. Facing the destruction, a man proceeds, voiceless. He has nothing but his shadow darkness, and his staff and his prison dress. That's why I learned to walk for these late bitter steps. Then evening comes. The faces of night petrifies around me, and under closed eyes I carry over this wandering, this fever, precious trees with their little twigs, leaf by leaf the hot tiny forest. Once the paradise stood here. The pain renews in half sleep, hearing its gigantic trees. I wanted home. I wanted to get home finally, as he arrived home in the Bible. My dreadful shadow across the courtyard, varied silence, aged parents in the house. They are coming, they are calling, poor ones already crying, hugging me, stumbling. The ancient order takes me back. On windy stars I'm leaning. If only once I could talk to whom I loved so, year after year. I never tired of saying it as a child cries into the crack of fence. The slowly suffocating hope that I would come and find you again. Your closeness throbs in my throat. I'm terrified like a wild animal. Your words, the human speech, is unknown to me. There are birds who are fleeing with broken heart under the sky, under the fierce sky. Orphan wood sleds around in the streaming field, and motionless cages burn high. I do not understand human speech and do not speak your language. My words are more homeless than the words unspoken. I don't even have words. Their horrible weight pouring down through the air. Voices come from a hole of a tower. You are nowhere. How empty the world. The garden chair, a desk chair left out. My shadow clatters on sharp stones. I'm tired. Rammed into the ground. God sees that I stand on the sun, sees my shade on rebel of fence. Without breathing, he sees my shadow standing in the airless press. By that I'm like a stone, That crinkled skin, drawing of thousand groves. By that the faces of creatures are a good handful of grateful stones. Wrinkles on the face for tears, empty furrows dripping instead of tears.